I'm painting things that most people would find a bit unsettling or a bit scary, I think. They're not quite so scary to me. I try to paint these things in a beautiful fashion. I wish everyone would draw and paint. It's kind of like a window into who they are, what scares them or what inspires them. I started drawing when I was very young. I think I still, to this day, I'm fascinated by things that scare me, and I do draw things, paint things that give me anguish. Some people would say it's a form of therapy, I don't know, maybe it is. At the end of the day, I just want to draw or paint cool pictures.
When we first met about 10 years ago, I was already impressed by how natural and confident his drawing was. I think his confidence is definitely his most powerful tool. It's what makes him unafraid to try actually really bold design, to use a bold medium tool like painting with oil.
Edward is a very interesting artist. He's combined so many interesting influences. It's really fascinating to see these different sources kind of come to life. I really think that's who he is. Whenever he posts something, I know that it'll be something that I've never seen before. I think this is why his work is so powerful.
Edward Delandre, one of my favorite, if not my favorite living artists today. When you see his work, you don't think, oh, that's like this kind of work, or that's from this kind of style. It's very much his own thing.
And it's something that still impressed me, his ability to draw everything and make it appealing, interesting without even have to check any references. It's just like you give him something that could be boring and he's gonna make something creative that gives you an instant reaction. It's always something that has been natural to him.
Every kid likes to draw. I think I got even more interested when I came across media like video games. I saw my first piece of concept art when I was around 5. It was in a guidebook for Resident Evil 2, I think. Concepts of zombies, digital art from the 90s. It terrified me. It was very scary, but like in a certain way, it was also quite fascinating. But my style changes a lot depending on the mood that I'm in or the references that I have. Which artist am I gonna rip off this time? You always have one artist in your mind that's in the front row and will influence your work, whether you look at references or not. think I'm still trying to find myself, honestly. I'm 30, I started painting 10 years ago. I started taking it seriously maybe about 5-6 years ago, I would say. I'm still trying to find out who I am as an artist, but I'm pretty damn sure where I'm going. Some of the paintings have a meaning behind them. Other ones, I just want to make something cool. No message behind it, no deep meaning. I have stages where I'll paint with specific colors. I don't particularly know why, I just find this range of colors work together well, and I try a bunch of paintings and different designs and see if it works, and sometimes it doesn't. I can't help but look at all this stuff and I'm like, I would have done that differently. I would do this entire painting differently nowadays. Like, artists, we're never going to be satisfied with our shit anyway. It's not possible. We'll always want to be better.
The way he handles lighting, the hands, the chunkiness of his paintings, there's a visceral aspect. How he handles shape. Definitely he does it in a way that's unique to him. He really makes it his own. It's a reminder of what art is about, showing people that you can still focus on, what the old masters used to focus on the fundamentals, and get some stuff that feels fresh and new. To me, he's one of the modern masters of traditional and oil painting.
I was so impressed by his ability to have his own style this young. You could tell very easily that this is Edward's work, doing his thing, doing oil paint, doing crazy monsters. It was so good, so graphic. I was so proud of him because I knew that's something he always wanted to do. He just puts what he loves into his painting. Beauty in things that are not supposed to be beautiful.
I like the idea of depicting fear or anxiety, stress, surrounding these things with beauty. I like seeing my ominous, scary or stressful looking creatures in a comforting background. Just bring beauty to something that's ugly, well, not necessarily ugly, but considered scary. It's interesting to bring contrast with something that's pretty. I think it's finished.
Since you died,
And it's done. I paint in my own flat. My paintings are drying right next to my bed while I sleep because I don't have a studio.
Even if Edward wants to appear as this torture artist, I genuinely think that he cares immensely about people and that he genuinely wants to be a good person.
I just hope I can inspire people the same way, like the people who made me decide to pick up a brush.
For me, the most important thing about Ed's art is to see an artist who has such a captivating merger of traditional painting methods and merges them with a more conceptual style and subject matter. He's got these otherworldly dark entities and monsters and of course good doggos and pumpkin boys. being used with these beautiful oils and gouache painting methods. It's not digital. There are other artists who obviously do this, but I don't think that they're quite so striking or evocative. At the same time though, there are pieces that are playful and silly within the edginess, such as his Venom pieces, which are also just as beloved. It always feels really honest and genuine. All of his pieces feel very alive and created with the desire just to make art, to get better and make something cool. I feel like this is what it is to be a true artist, and there isn't enough art just created out of love for art and passion anymore.
I see that a lot from people because they'll prioritize other things, but I feel like he's always prioritizing art, and that's why he's so good and makes other artists around him better.
He really does make me super inspired. I want to create things with this kind of dark impact and appeal as well.
There was a concept of this from Dark Souls that really spoke to me, and I wanted to do that model, and he was super helpful about it. I would send him updates from time to time, and I consider him a friend. I love every single one of his characters. I'm a big fan of traditional medium, and I love that's what he's doing. He's really going against the grain, and I admire him for that.
Edward's art, it made me go back to how I started drawing and the way I like. I can try to find my own style and maybe just do what I like to do most. And yeah, that way it changed my thinking process onto art.
I started painting with Edward. My very first paintings were in his bedroom. We were painting together and we would paint like for 3, 4, 5 hours. That was also something I've been looking for all my life, to find someone I could do that with without it being boring or anything that looks like we were working. We were just having fun, painting, enjoying myself, taking a lot of advice from him because the guy is the beast. I don't think I've ever witnessed since then this level of skill. He found like the freedom to just do what he wanted to do. We shared this very privileged moment, spending hours chatting, painting, drawing. We supported each other a lot in a time where it wasn't easy for both of us. That's very meaningful to me. He's helped me understand who I am and what I want to do as a man and as an artist.
It's such a great feeling, you know, when you look at someone's work and you instantly want to paint. Like they make you want to paint. I hope I can do that with someone. And I sometimes wake up at fucking 4 in the morning and I go back to sleep because I'm at this certain age. I should be a lot better. I should be able to draw this. I should be able to draw that. Paint in that certain fashion. I should know these techniques. I do strive constantly to be better, but I can also, you know, sit back and be like, all right, I'm not too bad. When I tell someone that I want to paint them, I genuinely want to paint them because I find their general shape is interesting. I look at someone, a friend or someone, and I'm like, I would really like to paint that person.
Time evens things out. Time replaces your doubts. I used up all the space that I got, left with nothing to fight.
Most of the time it's the shape of their face or their body or something that's interesting, or I wouldn't say unconventional because that's going to upset everyone that I painted, you know. Unconventional, beautiful, not generic, and that is something I'd like to capture. The person came to your house, is now sitting on a chair, and you know that they're not a professional model or anything, and they're gonna get sick of sitting on the bloody chair for hours. It adds a bit of pressure, and I just like start drawing, and then I start thinking about it. The pressure just puts you in the zone, basically. More than the actual literal likeness, definitely is also about who is this person to me, which is interesting, you know.
I'll take the burden of silence if you share the weight of my love.
Sometimes the drawing is shit, but the magic, the great part is like then I paint over it. Painting a model or a friend is like the scariest thing for me. I really don't want them to be upset. Sometimes I'll be happy with a drawing, and well, the person I drew will see it. I'll be like, this is how you see me? I don't have a nose like this. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I like your nose. I guess I wanted to make it a bit bigger. I just wanted to have a bit more focus on it.
Starting to like deepen his craft and really get something new, really diving deep into what he likes to do. It's very apparent, like, you know, he puts a lot of himself into it that really shows who he is. You can tell just by looking at even just the way he chooses the posing of a character. It feels that you can kind of know about him a bit more, what kind of person he is just through the painting. It tells you a bit about Edward, like it tells you a story. You can tell he paints from the soul, however how cheesy that sounds, he does. And he paints with a lot of love. He puts all of his effort into it.
Drawing people, my friends and all that, is also an opportunity for me to learn. If you look at my work, I barely draw any humans at all. Very rarely, it's either robots, monkeys, or fucking zombies, or skull people. So drawing people, it is interesting for me. It definitely is like an opportunity for me to be better at drawing and painting and doing it live, which is all very stressful, but like without that, how do you get better? But it does feel good to apply paint. I like having it physically here and knowing that it's the only one in the world. The act of painting just feels good. It is liberating knowing that you don't have layers and you can't go back and you can't rely on technology to save you. It's something that makes you feel good about it. It's also the smells, the texture of what you're painting on, the different brushes you have. Preparing a canvas, it also feels a bit like a promise. You're committing to something and hopefully you do something that's great. My parents were always super supportive of me doing art or pursuing art or music. My mum is a pianist and a guitarist. And she also plays a bit of a violin and the flute. I got to grow up with her. She would start playing the piano around 8 or 9. I would wake up to that. That was great. I really enjoyed that. It's fucking amazing waking up to someone playing music. I think my mum's really happy now that I'm playing the guitar. I call her almost every day and I play a little bit with her sometimes. That's nice.
One of the things that I really appreciate from Edward is his honesty and his wanting for you to follow your passion and doing it the right way. It brings back to the core of what art is. Art that comes from the soul. He's a good friend to help me remember that. I think he has his heart on the right place.
I think Ed is a pioneer. All of his pieces are always full of heart, story, and personality, and you can always see him shining through.
I would say his pumpkin paintings are the best. You can tell he really loves pumpkins.